Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha Lori Monaco coming to you from a beautiful sunny day in Southern Connecticut. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get on and I can't multitask when I'm trying to get onto the show, but here we go. I'm going to try it one more time, and I think I've got it now. So
You
there you
got
go.
it.
And welcome. So happy that you were here. Go ahead, Gladiator Guru.
Good morning, buenos días, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita, your gladiator guru. And I just heard on the news as I was trying to sign into the new internet, these kids, they search for not good quality, just what's the fastest internet speed for the video games. So everybody has tests. And then, you fix this, you fix that. And I totally forgot about the laptop. So, but it said it's going to be really hot today. So for all of you out there, be careful. Connecticut wise, that it's going to be extremely hot and humid.
How have you been where? Like in our area or in multiple?
Just that, they put the news on here.
Ah.
My disdain, but when you're a fish in a pod, you just stay smelling fresh. Good morning, Tiffany Bryan.
Good morning, Tiffany. Yes, it has actually been, I'd say a little bit hotter and more humid than it's been for July, like June, July. But then we also had very unseasonably cooler temperatures, So it's like either way, it's like we can't be we're unhappy either way.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you that the heat and the humidity gets to me in the sense that I'm such an outdoor person. So like, what was I doing yesterday? I was literally just sitting outside in the backyard. My daughter was in her pool with my goddaughter, and actually they had gotten out. We were just talking, and I'm just sitting there, and the sweat is just dripping off of me. And my daughter goes, "Mom, is that sweat?" And I said, "Yes." Like I'm just sitting there, like that's how bad I was sweating. But at the same time, when you're prepared for it, though, I actually like sweating. Like I feel it, to me, it's very cathartic. I was cleaning out the garage yesterday because I wanted to make room to pull in the U-Haul trailer that I'm going to be using this weekend, and then load it. And so I was sweating. I was hot. So but I was loving it. And the nice thing is I could just jump in the pool quickly if I wanted to cool off, or take a shower or whatever. So I like it, but I just don't like it when you have somewhere to go and you're all dressed up and then you're like sweating profusely.
I hate it.
Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Leanne. Good morning, Arlene Kelly.
Arlene Kelly.
And Pixuco.
And darling.
Good morning, Pixuco.
And good morning, Gail. Who else did we miss?
Arlene and Pixuco.
Pixuco. Who's Pixuco?
I don't know. Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Let me just get all these up there. Yeah, so it is what it is. I mean, we have to roll with it, right? I mean, it's never going to be perfectly comfortable for extended periods of time.
It's not. And
unless you live in Hawaii,
the season.
Good morning, Melissa.
That's the beauty of the seasons, is that it changes. And with each change, we learn something about ourselves, something detrimental or something that is solely a secret between ourselves. And so, I mean, I couldn't live like I did. And Florida gets cold like for a week. And then that's it, like cold to where I'm even cold because it's a wet cold and they're 30 degrees. It's cold. But, you got to roll with it. When you can learn how to roll with who you are and what you do, guess what happens? You know how to roll with everything outside of you. Whether you keep your ass home, sitting under the fan or in front of the AC on these hot days. So like that, you won't be aggravated and you won't aggravate people, or you flow. Like one day years ago, somebody I was supervising, I was like, hot, and he had a long sleeve. And I said, how do you do that? He's like, listen, the secret is, I've been in Florida all my life, but the heat it's hot. He says, But what I learned is you don't fight it. You just go with it. And you don't sweat as much. And at first I was like, the hell? But as time went on, I said, I'm not gonna complain about somewhere I chose to live. And I just didn't go out because you melt. You can't do your hair, you can't do your makeup, you go out, your underarms are sweating, like you sweat in places you didn't know existed. Good morning, buenos dias. Here we are with Viva.
That's actually a good consideration is you don't fight it, because realistically speaking, when you fight something, you are okay, I'm going to get all like nerdy on here. It's that when we fight something, we elicit our stress response, and our stress response naturally increases our blood pressure, it increases our body temperature, it increases all these things. And we actually can be hotter when we're more stressed. So there is something to that effect, to just go, like, in other words, it's part of mindful living. It's accepting the fact that this is not going to change. I can resist this all I want, but this is the way it is. This is the humidity. And we can look at it and say, well, how do I adapt to it, as opposed to argue with it? Because adapting with it allows the flow better, and it creates peace within me, as opposed to fighting it and complaining. Oh, it's so hot. It's always hot down there. I mean, like, that's just the way it is, So that's it. My aunts in Puerto Rico wear long sleeves.
We're talking about
Big Suko says my aunts in Puerto Rico
yes.
wear long sleeves all the time to protect. Yes, yep, absolutely.
Yeah. But Burlington in Florida sells all of the bomber jackets for the 3 to 5 days of cold. So that makes me hot. Yes, this is true. But you know what's the best material to wear, which is done in Cairo and all that, because I studied this, is linen. Because linen also heals the skin. And so remember when you watch documentaries or you read something at the hospitals back in the 40s and 50s, every hospital bed, army hospital bed, everything was linen. Now they turned to plastic. No wonder we stay sick. But that's what they use. You use linen. I love linen. I'll wear linen all day. I don't care if it's wrinkled, but it is my choice. But so we talk about the heat and the constant heat, and you can't take it, and you wonder, why am I here? So on the side note, my personal choice, then you better get it right with Jesus. You don't want to be hot for eternity. This can't mean you won't.
Amen. All right. Well, let's get on a hot conversation, because once again, I have to jump off at about the 8:40, 8:45 mark, and Gladiator Guru will take over, which will be absolutely perfect. But I really want to talk about this subject, because this is a big one for me, because this is something that I have unfortunately made most of my adult life, made this a habit out of my adult life, and most of us do, actually. So before we do that, we have to set our intention. We're going to do our mantra, but don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel. We would love for you to subscribe to it, and we would love for you to tell other people to subscribe. We would love that. Good morning, Maria del Pilar is in the house this morning. And then also,
who's in the house? I'm sorry, Lori. I'm trying to get my light right. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So definitely let people know, if you're on Facebook, share it. Just copy the link and post it on your page and say, here I am right now live. Join us. So let us set our intention, and then we will do our mantra, and we will get busy. All right. So on Viva, go with a purpose every single day. Set an intention for whatever that may be, but do it with gusto and be purposeful, because it'll just make your life that much more exciting. So set your intention
with gratitude. Wake up in the morning. I don't care what type of night you had, what lack of sleep. Wake up and be grateful that you have another day to get it right, to catch up, to shift, to flow, to get your shit together. You woke up today with another chance to do something different that's better than what you did yesterday. So be intentionally grateful for your moments this morning.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So we've got lots of people on this morning. Let's do our mantra. Say it loud, say it proud. Oh, Miggy's on and Catherine Marie is on. So good morning. Here we go. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
Of course, I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I keep it real.
All day, no doubt.
All right. So let's go. What is love you? Oh, thank you. So I really appreciate that because I was going to wait because Edith's not on yet. But I got my hair cut, and let me tell you, I am not one to get my hair cut because I'm one of those people that really doesn't like to get my hair cut because I have long hair, and inevitably people always want to chop my hair. So I went to Ibiza, and plus two, because I have alopecia, I don't really like being in salons that are all open because I am a little self-conscious of it right now. So anyway, I went to Ibiza and I am loving, like, seriously, she is absolutely fabulous. She gave me such a phenomenal haircut. And mind you, this is me laying on this. Like, I washed this yesterday and this was me laying on this, and look at still, like, because she put the layers in, the long layers. So thank you for noticing. Yes, she is amazing. I was supposed to get a color fix from her today, but I had to reschedule that. So I'm looking forward to that when I come back in a month and getting that set up at the end of August. So thank you for noticing that. I was just going to wait till she got on so that I could do kudos to her. But
isn't she on?
I didn't see her come up yet. If she's on YouTube, she didn't mention it yet. So she didn't say hi. And usually she says good morning. Okay, so the topic of today is I can't is I won't. And let me see if we missed anything. So Miggy, good morning. Let's see. Gail Crab, new beginnings, new opportunities. Yep, we saw that.
Oh, it is Iritza.
Oh, what did you come in on the sly? And look at her. She's like, I love your hair, badass. Okay.
New beginnings.
Right.
Oh, hello, Miggy.
Fly. Look at that.
Good morning, Miggy.
Oh, her grandson changed her on YouTube. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, she could do. So. Oh, thank you. No, she's awake. She just came in on a pseudonym. She fooled us. All right, there we go. Well, see, yes. So Iritza was. So this is. I love it. You know, it takes me a while to get used to my hair. When she actually cut it, I had it up in my bun, and I had it like that for a couple of days just because I get very weirded out when people cut my hair, and it was shorter than I was used to. But I think what really culminated yesterday, I mean, like today I woke up and I was like, damn, this is nice. You know, it's very curly. So thank you. Yes, she's fabulous. So I highly recommend. All right.
She is. She was over last night, and we were going over the Camino pictures, and we're sitting there, and I'm sure the neighbors weren't too happy, but this was after 10. And we're cracking up because you could look at one picture and have 50 memories attached to it. And you know, when you gather with somebody and you're tired, you were supposed to do something, but then it turns out to be the cleansing, because laughter is just so cleansing. And we laughed and we remember certain things about people, conversations. Like I said, and one of them, I was like, I thought he was gay, and then I learned so much about his sex life, and these were at cafes. And so I thank you, Petey, for that. But it was it was wonderful. Laughter, I think, it heals.
Oh yeah.
When you don't even think you're sick. Go ahead.
I love when the laughter is so strong that you look like you're hurting. Like you look like your face looks like you're in pain, or nothing comes out. Like no sound comes out. It's all you just see is the face.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
So
Good morning,
it was
Desiree.
good.
Desiree snuck on. Let's see.
I just think that when, laugh often. If you have to travel into yesterday, travel to the comedy spots that you also have saved there with all the trauma. And my first book, I once wrote a note to my mother, and I wrote, forgive me for all the horrible memories that we gathered together and I remembered, and forgive me for all the good and happy ones that I forgot. Because we do that. Sometimes in Spanish it is me olvidé de olvidar. So I forgot to forget. And those are the memories we hold on to that still can damage us today. So sometimes we got it. If you're going to be the historian of your yesterday, go back and travel those comedy spots, because I know they're there. Even when you fell and you were by yourself, how many of you in your underwear or in your socks with your hairbrush perform to a blown, full out, sold out concert in your kitchen or your bathroom? And it's just you singing and you slip and fall. But you don't tell nobody because this is what you were doing, but you have that memory. So whenever a negative one comes in, think about that one because you fell having fun. And I'm sure we all have those. And those are the ones we tend to forget, right? We forget. I forgot to forget. Remember that. You got to remember that. All right, go ahead, badass. You go on. Take it away, because since you got to leave.
Go on with my bad self. Okay, so I can't is I won't. So how many times have you said when somebody asks you to do something, oh, I can't. Oh, I can't do that. In fact, I just had this conversation with my mom. I had invited my mom to go to my cousin's daughter's graduation party. And my mother really has not wanted to go out anywhere since she's between having had the stroke. I mean, she's doing pretty well. But since then, she's also having, she's going to the bathroom. She's either peeing all the time. She's going to hate me for saying this online. She's either peeing all the time or she's constipated, right? But the reason I'm saying this is because we're all, this is what we do. We talk about stuff like this, is the fact that she's self-conscious about it. I get it. She doesn't want to be somewhere and then have to be going to the bathroom all the time, or then it kicks in that she has to, do the other thing. So she said she gets very defensive, like if you ask her to elaborate on something. My mother's always been that person that's she gets very embarrassed very easily. And I try to tell her, listen, it's fine. Don't worry about that. Don't get embarrassed, you don't feel bad, because that's who you are. That's what's going on with you. It's not a big deal. You don't need to get defensive. So anyway, I said to her, listen, do you want to go? We're only going to be there a couple of hours. It's not going to be, we're going to get there a little early and then we're going to leave before the bigger crowds get there. And she's like, oh, no, blah, blah. She said this whole thing. She's like, I can't go. And I'm like, and then I'm sitting here thinking about this because we had just talked about putting the show together. And I said, Mom, it's not that you can't go. You can go. You just don't want to go. And she got so pissed. She came at me and she's like, no, you don't understand. I got this said. And I let her to say what she said. And I said, yes, you don't want to go because of the situation. It's not that you can't go. It's that you don't. And she was resisting to comprehend what I was trying to say. After the third go round, I said, do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? I'm trying to say to you that you're saying, here's the difference. When you say I can't, it creates a victimization. It creates it's out of my control. I can't go, blah, blah, blah. When you say I won't go, means that you're in control. That you're saying, I would love to go, but I'm not going to go because I
don't want to.
Going on. I don't want to.
I don't want to. Why do I want to go? Because I don't feel like it. Because I want to just nothing.
Exactly. And this comes a lot. So, okay, maybe that could be very benign. So some of you may be thinking, what the hell's the difference if she said she can't or she won't? Doesn't really matter. True enough. But my point is that I was brought up with this. I've done this my whole life. My mom has done this her whole life. And other people around me have done this their whole life. And it's one of those things where this lines up with lying to yourself. Remember, this is the big premise of all this. Are we lying to ourselves? If we cannot admit that when we say I can't do something really means I won't do something, we're lying to ourselves. So what I'm trying to do for my 86-year-old mom is to say, listen, it's okay for you to say, I don't want to go. It's okay. Give yourself permission to be like, yeah, I'm not going. Not until I get some of this under control. Totally cool. Now, excuse me. Are there times where you can say, I can't do it? Sure. There are times, but we tend to mostly say it when we mean, I don't want to. Oh, I just can't do that. You know, well, can you go away this weekend? You said you've been wanting to go away. Your plans have changed. You know, you were supposed to have all these things to do this weekend, and now it opened up and freed your time. So are you going to go away and say, oh, no, I can't. You know, now that I have that free time, I can't because now I've got to do this and this. How? You had it, you know, built up before. Now that it's free, now you're shoving it in with things that you've put off. You could go away. So it's about changing our mind, changing the admitting and being accountable and not lying to self.
Yes. But you know, my children were not allowed to say I can't. My grandkids are not allowed to say I can't in front of me. Because can't means you won't. And if I told you to move your ass, you better move your ass. Okay, so, and they would try. We all do it. I can't. I can't do that. I could never just pick up and go somewhere. Or I can't just leave my job, although it's awful. It's torture. I can't is an excuse. Can't is a coward's way out. I can't. Instead of just saying I don't want to because I'm not comfortable going over there. Or why are you even inviting me when I don't like you? Or, you know, leave me the hell alone. You know, can't means you won't. Depending on anything, you stand up for yourself. Can't means you're not choosing you. I can't.
And this is look what Gail put. Gail said that. You're exactly right, Gladiator Guru. Gail said, saying you don't want to does not mean you need to explain either and why even. You don't have to. You say and I think that's part of the problem. Wouldn't you agree, Gladiator Guru, that the reason people say I can't is it gives them the excuse not to have to explain themselves, not realizing that if you just say, you know what, I'm not going. And if somebody turns around and says why, you have every right to say, I don't need to give an explanation. I'm just not going to go. I don't feel like it. You could give the explanation, but you don't have to. I think the I can't allows people to make up a false excuse that will coincide with what the other person wants to hear, or it just allows them to not. What do you think?
Yes, exactly. Because you know what? Sometimes we want to do something or we want to say something, but we're too busy worrying about how it's going to affect the person in front of us that we just say, oh, I can't. We belittle ourselves. So yeah, Catherine, making excuses instead of boundaries. Of course it is.
Yes,
you know what we all got to learn, especially as mothers. Like my little classy ass little kid. Okay? She'll come in here and I'm like, hi, mama, give me a hug. She'll look dead at me and say no. Look at my sister and be like, Titi, give me a hug. Right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just like me. So I can't even be mad at her, right? But, but let me tell you something. Especially to us mothers and us grandmothers. You got to learn to say, loving me is loving you. Loving me is loving you. If I don't love myself, then how dare I lie and be an imposter and be fake and say that I love you? And by doing so is by saying no, because can't means you won't, right? So all it's saying is you're not saying no enough to yourself and to everyone around you who wants to take you from when you are on your back, you ain't got shit to do. You ain't got no goals to set. Your vision's been blurred. You're just chilling, right? Nobody calls you. Nobody invites you anywhere. But the minute that divine light is floating over you, and the Holy Spirit inspires you, and you see with such clarity what you want, all those invitations come in. Everybody wants to interrupt your day with all these phone calls and texts, and then you're like, oh my God, I haven't heard from them. And then you stop what you're doing to have a conversation. When you come back to your shit, the vision is gone. The excitement is like, you forgot half the stuff you were gonna write down because you swear you have a photographic memory all the time. And then what happens? We get interrupted. So you got to follow patterns of your life. Where are you walking? What path are you walking? When you say, I can't fuck with you, then you're being serious. You know, where were you 3 weeks ago when I was down and out? Where my energy was like hanging from a thread from my pinky toe. And everybody was too busy. So that's what I'm saying. Loving me is loving you. So can't means you won't. What she said is right. What all it says is I won't. I don't want to participate in your bullshit. Bye. Bye-bye.
Or let's put this on us on a personal level, you know, when we have to call ourselves out on this. This is where the awareness once again comes in. So catch yourself throughout today and the next days saying, if somebody asks you something, or if somebody calls you out on something, and something that you said you wanted to do, or something that you bought, or whatever that you wanted to buy, and you say, I can't. Now, there are times where can't is possible.
Right.
You know, so there are times where you're saying, geez, you know what, I really somebody says, oh, you know what, that thing is on sale, and you had said you wanted it. Oh, I can't. And is I can't, I won't. Say, well, I can't because I actually really don't have the money. So I really can't buy it today, but thank you for letting me know. And I'll keep it, you know, I'll keep that perspective. Like, I'll give you an example is Prime Day was like the last 2 days. It was yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, I don't get it.
There's some savings, like you can get some extra savings, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so there were some things that I had sitting, not in my cart, but in that section where it's like save for later, you know, and it's all from the move. You know, there's a lot of things that I need to purchase. There's, you know, mattresses and all kinds of, you know, sheets and all that kind of stuff, you know. So I had it sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? Let me see if any of these are on sale. And a lot of them were, you know, some of them were 20% off, some of them 15, some of them were even 40. So I said, okay, let me put this into the cart. And then it started to add up and add up and add up. And I'm like, crap, you know, like I do need these things, but it's also not the time that I need, you know, like I can't afford. What's that in the background? What are you listening to something in the background? Oh, there we go. So I was looking at this going, I really need these. And yes, I can save money, but I don't have it in my budget right at this time to get all the things that I need. So I took stuff out of the cart, and I got only the things I absolutely 100% needed, and I saved some money. So what's in the background? What are you listening?
My phone keeps popping up.
Oh. So sometimes I can't is legit, you know, but again, this is about lying to yourself. When you hear yourself say, I can't today or tomorrow or the day after, stop and say, is it I can't or I won't? Like, is it, am I making the excuse and saying I can't, or is it that I really don't want to do this? That it's not okay for me to do it this time. And then reword it like Gail said. Don't just say I can't, leave it on the table like that. Actually reword it and say, I would love to, but. And it doesn't have to be an explanation of people.
No,
this can
I would say I'm unable to
yourself.
Yeah.
But be honest with yourself. Say, I can't do this. If somebody says, oh, can you do it? I can't. And then say to yourself, is it really that I can't or that I won't? And if it's I won't, just admit it to myself. No, I really don't want to do that. I'm not like, it's like somebody invites you over, like Gladiator Guru said, and you're like, I really don't want to go over there. I don't want to spend time with those people. Oh, I can't, you know, I have this going on. And Is it okay to tell them, no, I'm not going to be able to go? Oh, why? Well, I've got other plans. I mean, sometimes you do have to not be completely truthful to get out of doing things. But as long as you are truthful to yourself, say, no,
Yeah,
I don't want to be there. I don't
I'm
like
unable and unavailable.
unable.
And if you don't want to say I can't, be bougie. Oh, I'm unavailable, darling. Not today. And when you walk with the truth, just know it's not rainbows and unicorns. Especially yourself, you are gonna be filled with doubt. Oh my God, did I offend this person? Maybe I came out too strong, because now you're learning a new part of you that you were running from for the most part of your life.
Yes.
Right. And that's that. I gotta love me. I must understand me. I have to be for me. I'm my cheerleader. I'm my hype man. So I'm my MC introducing me onto the stage of this thing I call my life. That is you. So when someone, see, why are we responsible for offending someone who has asked us a question? Why do we normalize the response being the issue or the rudeness or whatever lack of, instead of the person rethinking the question? Because I didn't invite me into your moment. You invited me into your moment with the question. And now your butt hurt because you're sensitive and I triggered something and all those fucks that I don't give because you asked me a question. Because you asked me a question. And I'll give you an example because Pixacuco is on, whatever. The other day she comes in here, right?
Pixacuco.
She comes in here and she pulls down on her t-shirt and she goes, oh my God, don't you just love my t-shirt? And I was like, not really. I was never into the Breakfast Club. And she for a brief moment, now she's known, we have hung out since we were 18. So most of our lives, right? And we're cousins. So she knows. But I can see in her face, she was like, and in my head, and I hope my face was showing it, why did you ask me? So then I said, no, I never was into the Breakfast Club. I've watched the movie. We all watched it when it first came out with kids. Then life came in and then I said, you know what? If it was Audrey Hepburn, Tiffany's, I would have said, yeah, I like it, because that was my truth. But I wasn't going to say, oh, yeah, no, it's not. I don't just love your t-shirt. I'm happy you are wearing something that you love. But that was Iris. I'm sorry I used you as an example, but that's just a fact. So let's normalize what it should be. My mother always used to say, ask me no questions. I'll tell you no lies. So don't ask me something if you're not ready for the truth. How many women ask their husband, do I look fat in this? And they're like, he's like, I don't know, man. I can't believe you call me fat. Now it's a whole other world war that should have never been introduced into here.
Well, listen, I want to jump in because I got to go, but I want to note something that my sister said. She says, why are you not able to say, I don't want to visit you because I don't like you? Well, I mean, I'll put it out to you. How many times have you said that to somebody? It's not easy to just be that honest with people. And we're not telling you to start fights with them, but if it's the truth, because if you're saying, why are you not able to say it? Why say it back to yourself? How come if I don't want to be with somebody, I just don't say I don't want to visit you because I don't like you?
I'd be like, why are they inviting me when they know I don't like them?
Right. But it's one of those things where you just pull yourself away. But if you have to say it, you'll say it. But it's not always something that most people would just come out and say, well, I don't want to come over because I don't like you.
Why are you? I would say
yourself away. Well, unless you feel that way.
Sometimes you got to check people though.
No, true. I'm just saying.
Sometimes they're going to keep inviting you because they know that they're pissing you off. And they know you ain't going to do shit because you've always just sat there and took it. And so there comes a point where you're going to have to tighten up and say, why the hell do you keep inviting me when you know we don't get along? You invite me when you know I'm not going because we don't get along. What? If they do it the first time, let it go. My father always said, the first time is their fault. The second time is your fault. Don't let it go past that. So, you know, and if you're at the point where it's the third and fourth, shame on you. Put your big girl panties on and let them people know. Stop fucking inviting me to your shit because you know we don't even get along. You know, and you don't have to say it as bluntly as I'm saying it. But sometimes you need to shock the hell out of people.
Gail goes, I've been known to ask, so what is the purpose of this?
Yeah. Or so you,
I
what
don't
you're
like
saying
you, so
is,
what's the purpose?
yeah.
Oh,
So, and people will, they know that you don't like each other. And they're like, watch.
I gotta go,
No, honey,
everybody.
you gotta go.
Yeah, I'll see everybody. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you all on
I thought you
Tuesday.
said 40.
I gotta go be mama. And remember, just pay attention. Be aware of your I can't. Catch yourself today, the next few days, and ask yourself, am I really saying I can't do this, or am I saying because I really don't want to? So see you all later.
So yeah, what is your can't? What are you going to do? How deeply is your loyalty to yourself? I guess that's what differentiates the I can't and I won't. How sincere is your love for yourself? How much do you like yourself that you're willing to not only be blunt honest with somebody that there's friction with and is aggravating the shit out of you, but those friends that you have in common? Like, are those friends worth it? Because sometimes they'll just take the side because a lot of people don't like individuals who know their worth. When you walk with dignity and integrity, opening the doors for you to walk through, you're not going to be liked. People are not going to like you. They're going to call you all kinds of names. Oh, look at, she's conceited. She thinks she's all that. She's so damn stuck up. Let them. What are labels? Our healing, we're removing the labels we placed upon ourselves. Who gives a shit about everyone else? Because if that's the case, you're going to be like a sticky post-it advertisement, walking around advertising post-its with all the labels people are putting on you. So you are your brand. When I am Margarita, that's my brand. I am my brand. So if I'm going to lose you, that means I never had you. So test it out. Test one person out today. Catherine says, I'm going to read it because I know I don't do this often. This is the badass part. And if I can put it up, I'm going to read it from here, ladies. Damn, I never thought about it that way. I'm loyal to everyone. I never thought to be loyal to myself. Huge awakening. Gail says, a friend of mine once said, people either love Gail or hates her. She sees the BS and tells you. That's exactly it. Thank you, Catherine. It is an awakening because we tend to forget the most important person in our lives. And then we get wounded and upset and blame people for triggering them. Why? You're feeling all these feelings because of something I said. That means your integrity, your dignity, and your self-loyalty are not in check. Get it together before you come at me. And Gail, that's right. You know what? When I was working my first overnight shift, one of the first shift people came in. So I'm walking and I finished up. I'm ready to throw the garbage out. I hear somebody walking behind me, right? So I glance and she's like sashaying down the hall with her coffee cup, right? And she says, oh, now mind you, I kept walking. I didn't have time for that. Oh, are you the famous Margie I've been hearing about? So I just slightly turned my head. I didn't even look back. I just slightly turned my head to make sure she heard me. I said, oh, I'm Margie. Believe everything you hear because I act accordingly. Oh, no. I heard you're a good worker. First of all, you don't say that from behind as you're sashaying. And then am I the famous Margie? So, I mean, listen to what people say because they show you who they are from jump. Plain sight, right there, the moment you met them, they're telling you the truth, but you want to pretend like, oh, maybe she heard this. I wasn't engaging in gossip. First of all, I don't like people who want to come and talk to me from behind. If that's the case, stay behind. So, yeah, I have the blessing of I can meet somebody in the moment I meet them. I don't even got to be introduced to them. I could be somewhere and somebody walk in the room. I'm like, I don't like the energy. People come up to me. I'm studying everything like in a heartbeat. What they're saying, the look in their eyes, how their body's reacting. You stay over there. So we have to be national security for ourselves. We're the gatekeepers. We hold the key to unlock, open, throw out, and receive what we need in our lives. So by you saying I can't, you brought the bars down on yourself. You close the door to your own self. Because then you can't means your blurred vision, you're not raising your frequency. Your vibration isn't flowing where it should. You're not making wise decisions. You're allowing people to run your life so that you can be a victim and complain about how nobody's there for you. Nobody comes for you. Everything starts with you, the I am. God, every morning, thank you, God. Every night we talk. Throughout the day, I'm like, what? But the thing is, I hold myself accountable. If I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. Listen to the energy and just observe all day, and I love that. People will love you or they will hate you, but that's their issue, not yours. You cannot be everything for everybody. Remember when we first started Viva, I used to always say, I may not be for everybody, but I am always for me. Yo voy a mí. Being born and raised in Father Panic, we used to fight all the time. My father said, the day I find out you didn't, somebody hit you and you didn't fight back, I'm beating your ass. My father never hit us. And we fought. Every day we fought until we earned the respect of cohabitating in that projects with our our lily white skin. And they saw us coming, and guess what? It was, hey, how you doing? So we must have our value system to the point where we're very empathetic and compassionate towards people, because without that, you're not human. It doesn't take nothing for you to hold the door open for somebody and not expect a thank you. You chose to hold the damn door open. Why are you expect? Oh, I held the door open. They couldn't even say thank you, bitch. I didn't ask you. You chose to hold that door open. Why are you charging me for that now? That's an elimination of stress. People are getting stabbed and going into fight because someone chose to open the door, and because the person, you don't know what's going on in people's minds. You don't know if they were at the store, they got a phone call now, they have to run out, and then you're holding the door open, they run through. You don't know, but you chose to take that moment in your life and hold that door open. Why do I owe you a thank you? It is nice. It is honorable to say thank you as you're walking by. Of course it is, because it doesn't cost us anything either to say that. But drop the expectations of how everybody's supposed to be with you and learn how to love you. Learn how to honor you. Learn how to keep that integrity intact and walk with your head up with dignity. None of that I say costs a thing. It doesn't cost a thing to do those things for yourself. You can say, I can't. Well, I wasn't loved enough as a child. I wasn't this. I wasn't encouraged. I wasn't that. You know what? That was then. Who are you today? You're responsible for your today, not your parents, not your grandparents, not your environment. You're old enough to have picked up a book, listened to a podcast, watched a documentary. You're old enough to have learned that life doesn't owe you shit. But you are a millionaire waiting to explode. But you're blocking your own blessings by not understanding that you saying I can't keeps cutting you. You're already, your feet are cut. It keeps stumping your growth. So many times we say I can't because we have learned perception is reality and do not want to trigger someone else. Yeah, that's bullshit. Has anybody seen that reel and now people are duetting it, and I just love to watch them all. Just like the Jerusalem. I love all those videos of the people dancing. But the little boy, when someone will say something and he's in his car seat and he's like, that's bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. If anybody's seen that reel, put it up there, because that makes my day all the time, because that's exactly what it is, Gail. Your perception. Who gives a shit of who's going to take your words? As long as you're not coming from a place of cruelty towards anyone, but you're speaking your truth, or you're just calling them out on their bullshit. Of course they're going to get triggered. Who the hell wants to be called out on their bullshit? They're going to use, oh my God, you hurt my feelings, to deflect. That's not your problem to solve. That's not your story to tell. Just, you know what you're teaching them? When you honestly speak your truth, even if it's going to get them all riled up because they're not ready for their own damn truth, you're teaching them. I'm not the one. Don't come back to me with this bullshit. Time is priceless. So absolutely right, Gail. I'm not even, where did this word start coming out? 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, the biggest word, what was it? The narrative, and it was something with the P. And then it was authentic, and then it was vulnerability, and then all of a sudden now, and then, manifestations kept flowing, and now it's trigger. You know what? You don't want your feelings hurt, then tighten up. You don't want nobody to call you out on your bullshit, then start living up to your value. I'm not here to caress and soothe you. You fall, I'm with you. I'm going to lift you up, make sure you're okay, then I'm going to laugh. Because that's how you are. That's what you get when you're with me. You're going to fall. I'm going to pick. You okay? You okay? And then I'm going to crack up. Because you know what? Me and the floor used to be best friends. We've separated for a while. But you know that can come back. I'm always falling. I'm always on the floor. But I'll get you up first. My sister, on the other hand, you fall in front of her. She's going to crack up. And then she's going to say, you okay? So that's how life is. You get back up. You rise above it. You rise above it and you dust yourself off and you keep it pushing. Can't means you won't, means I'm not ready to seek that part of me. So don't push me. How dare you push me? But you're going on like nothing. Oh, you think you're all that. You think you're better. You see how it goes? You see how the negativity, those demons start feeding you all these words, and then it makes you feel less than, but everybody else is at fault. Right? So you're hating on me because I know my worth. You're hating on me because my past is my past and it cannot hurt me. And sometimes I'll remember it and I'll get sad. And then I'm like, damn, I came a long way. I flipped that bitch accordingly because it's just a memory. It is a fleeting thought. You chose to archive it. Mine, it just comes and goes. Okay. Or there are moments when I travel back into my yesterday and revisit a memory that brought me pain, or that I caused someone else pain, because I have to go and revisit that moment to see, have I grown? Did I learn from this? Am I still the person that depending how angry I am, I lack compassion and empathy, which I know I can be. See, as kind as I am, like people, I'm kind, I'll give you the shirt off my back, but then on the other side, you cross me. I don't care who you are or how you bleed. I'm trying to work on that, but maybe I'm in the second half of my life. Maybe that's not going to work. So you just stay away from people that might cause you to become a criminal. I don't know. We all got to choose wisely for each of our own lives. The Badass Buddha says, how is your I can't interface your unlimited potential? Interfering your unlimited potential. Okay. And from a mind perspective, can't is a word of diminishment and lack. Yeah. Stop playing small, because for every can't you say, that means that's your excuse to wag your tail backwards. And for have the people think, oh, then I'll do it because, she gets nervous. It gives her anxiety. It brings back a memory from that. No, just say you don't want to do it. And being a storyteller myself and always writing, Somebody asked me, is that what you do? All you do is write? Like, no, I read. Somebody asked me, what is it exactly that you do? I can't wrap my hand around it. And you know what I told them? I said, why do I gotta label myself with what I do? I make money. I make the amount of money that I am allowing myself to make at this time in my life. So I am a multitude of talents. I am. I do multiple things that bring me revenue. And these multiple things that I do, it's orgasmic for me. Don't let me sit and paint with some jazz on. I'll be sitting here dancing, magically orgasmic, because it makes me feel good. But I must admit, the can't part came in. I can't think of exactly what I do. Then I'm like, who the fuck is this person? They don't need to know what I do. I am not going to allow myself to be a puppet and just put a label on what makes it easy to translate to you what the hell I do. What do? I sleep, walk, and talk in my full embodiment of awesomeness, because I'm amazingly awesome. And you don't have to agree with me. And you know what? If somebody says you gained a little weight, you know what? I think I did. Somebody says you're slimming down. I think I did. Because everybody, you go to the museum, 5 of us, we're looking at one piece of art with all these different definitions to it. You might love it. The other 4 are going to be, that's a piece of shit. I can't believe that's hanging in a museum. I don't understand it. Is it backwards? Is it this? So now that's how you don't let the daggers of the spiritual realm afflict you. Did you lose weight? You know what? I think I did. You seem like you've gained a little weight. You know what? I think I did. Oh my God, you cut your hair. How do you feel? Fantabulous. You really like it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Own your moments. You don't have to own yesterday, because you no longer own it. You know, it expired. The time limit on your past and those memories they can't hurt you no more. They just remind you. They can't hurt you. You don't own it. Tomorrow, who the hell owns tomorrow? You cannot own what has not come. You own this minute right now. And you choose to be the best you, or you choose to be a puppet in life. So whenever you hear, going forward to today, you hear yourself saying, I can't, visualize the strings you just attached to yourself. And don't be mad when people dictate your life to you, because that's the permission you're giving even strangers. You could be sitting in a restaurant having coffee with someone, and they come out, and someone behind you is listening to you say, I really wanted to do this, but I can't. So when your friend goes up to take a piss, that person's going to come throw you a business card, because they already know that you're weak. And sometimes we say it with such a, I really can't. I wanted to do that. Stop. I'm the least person, the last person. If it's just you and me in this world, you better go have a pity party with the tree trunk. It's like bugs crawling on my skin, and I don't know who else can feel that way. I'm not better than anybody. I was so emotional Saturday and Sunday that I was like, I couldn't do anything. Like really emotional, and I really wanted to cry, but then I really didn't want to cry. So I was like, it came up, and my eyes got watery, and I was courageous enough to tell my sister, I've been very emotional today, because I learned me. I don't have to vomit all over the table with every emotion I have, because I have to figure it out here before I can fully engage in sharing it. Anybody? Say something. Somebody say something about what we just discussed. It's very important that you discover. Be in awe of the goddess within you. For those mothers, we carry the human inside of us. Made us go through all these changes. Whether you lost here, you grew here, your nails got weak, they got strong, you were pissing like a racehorse. We went through changes. And then we pushed something out. That, you know, they do these tests on men with period cramps from 3 to 10, and these men, one sheriff couldn't take it at number 8. And he's like, how do you come to work with these pains? Then they do the pregnancy one on the men, because it says it, giving birth feels like, they compared it to the pain of 108 bones crushing in your body. And so that's you. That's that gladiator, that slave. You know, gladiators back in the time were slaves. They were robbed from their fields while they were plowing, and then they learned how to be these gladiators to survive out there fighting beasts and other men who were trained better. And every time they had to go out into that coliseum, they had to fight for their lives, and they did it. If you haven't watched the movie Gladiator, go watch it, because it was phenomenal. It tells a lot of the truth. And you know what? Until they just didn't want to live that life no more of entrapment, and then having to fight for your life. A lot of them fought for years, and they survived it. And you know what? We can survive any, and everything that comes our way. The movie Hangover. The best line from the movie Hangover is, "But did you die?" Okay, let's read some. You can't. Oh wait, what are you preventing yourself from doing because you keep saying I can't? You can't get a new job because you can't travel because boom. Gail says, learning to love myself, warts and all, is the biggest gift I gave myself. I no longer feel the resistance that once ruled my life. Isn't that like, Gail, correct me if I'm wrong, but that feeling right there of loving yourself with all the little, with the flabs here and the saggy tits coming on now, you know, and the hips. Years ago, I tattooed a butterfly on my hip. And I don't know, people are like, why there? Nobody can see it. I said, it's for me, because when my fat jiggles, my butterfly wiggles. It was for my entertainment, you know? So it takes time. But to love yourself, Gail, what is that? It is just, and you walk with confidence. And you walk with your shoulders back and your chin up. And you walk with such confidence that you could be confused as the president. Because all it takes is acknowledging the beauty that you are, flaws and all. So yes, it's like nothing can control you. Oh, that. And sometimes we want to go. So we're like, let me get back to you, because you do. Maybe you have to shift some shit around, but you do want to go. And that's okay. You got to love sister. She's my go-to person when I need to shed things. Yes. You know, yes. And Janet looks at me because Miggy, you know, you've known me for years too, but you know, even my family, my sisters, you know, my daughter, my beautiful Tiffany, my son who's here, they don't know how to handle me when I cry. Like, to them, it's like they're living in the Twilight Zone or something, because my kids never seen me cry. Never. Until my mom died. And the day she died, you know, they all took step backs from me. Because to them, this was something, look, I'm getting emotional talking about it. That's how serious it was. They were so shocked that they had to rub their eyes. They could not have believed that Margie was crying. And I was taken aback, not because I was crying like I finally unleashed a little bit of the waterfall. I mean, the dam is still holding the majority of it back. But I couldn't believe it. Not that they were in shock that I was crying, but I was also like, what the fuck? Am I crying? So, yeah, well, yeah. Growing up, I thought my mother was pathetic and weak, and she always cried all the time. And I believe she did it to get pity from people. So from the age of 6, because of her, I stopped crying. And at the age of 52, when she died, because of her, I learned to cry again. So you see my beginning and my end. My mother's beginning and her end was was, me, for me. My beginning and my end was her time limit here on earth, her agenda. So, I mean, a whole thing with that one, but we'll take care of that another day. But yeah, and what's even more scary is I am still quicker to cry. Cry meaning I have a tear come down when I'm angry, and when I get to that point, whoever's in front of me better run. Because now you took me to the opposite side of the spectrum, and Maron, fat jiggle, butterfly wiggle. That's right. It's my monarch. I'd be like, woo, girl, don't let me. I think I need a lover. I love to cry, moving energy. I'm sure I love to watch movies of people crying. I love to watch people crying. But I would say, why are you crying? Because I wanted to know why. But I guess I said it in such a demanding tone that they thought that I was being, or maybe I was. Why are you crying? Like Iris on the Camino. Like, why are you crying now? Like, you keep crying. I'm thinking about somebody. Or this reminded me of somebody. And then we're in pain. And then she's crying. I'm like, why are you crying now? She goes, because I want to. And that's okay. And that's okay. So our time is up. So thank you for everybody who spoke. Tuesday's show is going to be just as phenomenal, and we're all going to be surprised together what it is, because the badass Buddha is the one with the list in front of her. But let me tell you something. When you set out on your day today, why don't you do a what is it called? When so you're do the lines 1, 2, 3, 4, cross it out. How many times today? And what it was about, it shouldn't matter. But how many times you said can't today? Catch yourself. Words are the most powerful tool you will carry. And God said, let there be light, and let there be oceans, and let there be trees. Created the earth that we love so much and we know today with words. 50% of any illness is the words you speak to yourself. It's that positive attitude. You might still die from it, but you will be healed in the time that you have left on this earth with your loved ones enough to appreciate the life that you have left. 50% of your words are healing. Positive attitude. So let's start keeping track of ourselves. Let's acknowledge, accept, and hold ourselves accountable to the negative shit that comes out of our mouth but re-enters into our ears, so then it settles back where it was. And only you can do that. You can do that. You will do that. You must do that. And with that, mi gente, se acabó. So, oh, wait, Beatty wrote something. You were being mean when you said it back in the days, but not now. I wasn't being mean. I was like, I couldn't stand the crying. Like, why are you crying? Stop crying. Because it was just, why are you crying telling me a dream? I just didn't understand. So I'm not going to say I was being mean. I didn't understand, because everybody I saw crying was a lack of to me. That's a whole other conversation, Iris. So, mi gente, thank you for staying on. Se te quiere de gratis. I love you for free. And remember, from the Gladiator Guru, to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste. Ciao, arrivederci. Sayonara. Adios.